Hey, good day. I've got something a little bit different for you today. Instead of a word of exhortation, I want to tell you a little story about how I got to where I am. And maybe it might help you to decide what course you should take with your life. And that might be helpful to you. So here's the story. I was working at a bank and working at a church. I was associate pastor for 5 years, and I was working at a bank as a banker and teller for 5 years. And not particularly good at either. I learned to communicate better at preaching and teaching, and I did a lot of their IT work, so I was enjoying technology that way. And then at the bank, I learned a lot of responsibility because you had to be there early to open and you had to be on time. And I was not good at either one of those, but I was getting good at it. So I had to deal with people. I really got miserable about that. I did not enjoy it. I didn't want to do it anymore. Lots of stress, wasn't enjoying it, ready to get out, right? That happens. But a lot of the time I would have somebody come across my desk, well, not like across my desk and attack me, but they would sit across from me at my desk. And sometimes I would find out that they were an engineer. And I had this desire since I was in my 20s to go back and finish an engineering degree because I had an associate in science from a community college. And it was always a track since I was a kid that possibly I'd go into engineering. But then I was coming up on 32, 33, the years ticked by. And the question is, am I too old to go back and become an engineer? I have the desire, but is it too late? Have I missed out? Finances aren't that good. I didn't have much money coming in, and I had a wife to take care of, and she wasn't working at the time. So was it possible? But the desire was there. Every time I saw an engineer, I would just ask them questions, drool over the cool things they were working on, and be jealous, if I'm honest. So at some point, the church didn't hire me, which was scary at the time and kind of a shock, but I ended up moving back to North Carolina. And when I got there, come to find out I was in state, and I applied to 2 colleges, NC State, which is the obvious choice, and then Western Carolina University. This one accepted me because I had the ability to come into a college because of my associate in science degree. And when I got in, found out it was going to be cheap. It was going to be $500 a semester. So before I get into how all that panned out, the problem that started this all was that I was asking the wrong question. That question should never have been, am I too old to go back to college? The question should have been, I'm going to be 38 at some point. Do I want to be 38 and an engineer or 38 and not? And that's an easier question. That makes so much easier the decision. Of course I want to be an engineer at 38. I don't want to be 38 and still working at a bank and still not trained. I would look at job listings like SpaceX and Tesla and NASA and all these other engineering outfits, Boeing. I don't want to be in a defense company at the moment, but all these cool jobs would be out there, and they sounded fascinating, and all the skills that they had that were requirements and qualifications. And I would say to myself, one day I want to apply to that. What do I have to do to get there? What do I have to do to be able to apply to that? And the answer was I needed to go back to college, and I need to get certified, trained in all of these topics that I had no knowledge of, and have a bachelor's of science in engineering, electrical in my case, but I also got a CS minor while doing it. And it opened up so many doors, and it made life so much better on the other side. Did I love working at the church? I love serving Jesus. I love I love people, and it was an awesome opportunity to learn. But God knows I'm wasted on the pastorate. But I love engineering too, and I get to be with people and work alongside people who are fascinating and brilliant. People from all backgrounds and walks of life, from countries all over the world. And I'm honored to have that opportunity. If I hadn't gone back, I don't know what would happen. Not only that, let's take this back for a second. When you're making that decision and you're saying, am I too old to go back to college and to learn? And I even went on campus. You want to talk about hard. Go back at 34 and move on campus? Really? I wasn't on campus living there, but I cashed out my 401k from the bank and I bought an RV for $8,500, parked it in a campground. It was only 27 foot fifth wheel with a big chocolate lab that we had. and it was me and my wife. It was a tiny house. I would watch HGTV and they would say, these closets are too small. And I'd go, that's the size of my house. It was an interesting experience. It made you appreciate different things, but that's not the point. The point is, if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't cashed out the 401k and set sail and taken the risk and gained the experience of living, within my goals and living within my desire of what I could do and what I could learn, that happened around the time of the pandemic, and we were in a great place, in a small home, sitting in a campground while people were on lockdown or whatever you called it. And we were able to just enjoy basically camping every day. Had good, internet included. Furthermore, think about it this way. If I hadn't done that, the income I was making in 2018, I had no idea what inflation was going to happen between 2018 and 2022 and 2025 now. Inflation just shot up. The same apartment I rented for $800 in 2018 was going for $1,300 when I graduated. If I hadn't gone back to college, I would have missed out on so much income potential and earnings potential. I over doubled my income. I think it's 3 times from what I was making at the bank. And it's not to say that I'm wealthy. I don't feel wealthy now, but I'm sitting in a Tesla. I mean, I'm still paying for it, but the point is that I'm making is, and I'm rambling a little bit, sorry about that. When you look at these decisions that you've got to make in life, and you have a genuine desire, you've sought God, maybe you're not a Christian, but it's a desire that's legitimate. And what I mean by legitimate, even if you're not a Christian, it is not a legitimate desire to go blow all your money on gambling. You may have that desire, but that's not wise. That's stupid. A legitimate desire is something that is a good thing, and it's something that will benefit you and the people around you and your community. You can be a better version of you, as it were. And in this case, as a Christian, I believe God had it for me. He knew that I was going to be a better engineer than pastor any day of the week. And I do try to encourage people. I do come alongside people and pastor them in a sense, but I don't want to be a pastor of a church. I have no desire to do that. But if the need arose, I would step in and do so. But I am a great engineer. I'm not bragging or anything. I really am not. But what I mean is, I get it. I understand the concepts. I understand the topic. I get to work with robots and small manufacturing things. It's really cool. I really enjoy the work. It's interesting. My mind is growing. I'm learning. I got back into a graduate program. I'm going to start this fall. And I don't want to stop growing. Not only that, and I am rambling, but I hope you're listening. The person I was when I went into college, by about 1.5 years into it, I started to change. My confidence shot up in levels I had never had in my entire life. I had never had confidence, but confidence started to come. Not arrogance, not braggadociousness, but I'm talking about confidence. You look in the mirror and you say, I know what I'm doing and I know where I'm going and I am thrilled to be here. Every day is a gift. And looking back now and where I'm at, the job I have with a company, a global corporation who does amazing work, and I work with some of the most talented people that I could have ever imagined, and I enjoy working with them. They are so much fun to be around. We do incredible work, challenging. I like it. I look now at who God took over the last 20 years of walking with Christ, and when he took me to that college and helped me to learn and grow and become a better man and enjoy the work that I do, and I look in the mirror now and I'm grateful for the man that God has produced. I'm not bragging. I'm not proud. I just mean that for once in my life, I like me. And I like where I'm going, and I like the future I see and the path that I have. And I want that for you. Maybe you're dissatisfied where you are. That's sad. I want better for you. I was dissatisfied. I shouldn't have stayed there. I was miserable and I was getting bitter. And I couldn't be the blessing to others that I could be. The income I have the opportunity to give away, and I enjoy it. I got the chance to take a best friend and his family and rent a cabin and say, don't worry about the cabin. You just show up and pay for food for your family and activities you want to do and enjoy, I've got the rental. I can cover that. It was so much fun. Do you understand? If there's an opportunity for you to go and grow and learn and gain a skill like that, don't think that you're settling for something less. If it's a legitimate desire, if it's a legitimate thing that God has put on your heart, or from a youth, maybe you had this passion and you wanted to seek it, and you can become a better version of you. I hate to use that cliche, but it is true. If it's the way God designed you and the desire He's put in your heart, don't settle for less than your best. Find out what that is. Seek your best. Learn, grow, gain skills. Start listening to books. Even the free things can be something that can help your mind grow and help you gain income. You don't even have to go to college and get skills in some cases. Maybe you haven't read a book in 20 years. Get Audible, get Libby, something, one of these apps, and listen. Maybe you can't sit down to read. I get that. That takes so much time. It feels like you're wasting it, but you're not. Take an audiobook, put it in the car. When you're walking your dog, taking out the trash, just be learning, gaining skills. You're on the treadmill, whatever. And I guarantee it, you will never regret it. The dividends that you will gain from increasing your knowledge and seeking to better yourself will be something that your future self will look back and say, I cannot imagine what my life would be like if I hadn't done that back then. And I am so grateful to my past self for setting me up for this success today. And that's my encouragement for you today. If you've got a legitimate desire from God, it's how He made you. And you'll know it. It's not going to hurt your family. It may set you back for a time like it did in that RV, but it honestly helped both of me and my wife grow as humans. She was managing, I was learning. It was awesome. And today, the person that I am today, that I get to enjoy the work that I do and the people that I get to work with and to provide income that I couldn't imagine, and it helped overcome what we're experiencing now with inflation. Man, I am grateful. And I want to share that with you. You're not too old. It's never too late. Even if you're 60 and you want to go back, go. I still have a desire for a PhD. I think it's a legitimate desire. I'm going to set it as a goal. Will I get there? Eventually, God willing, if time permits. But it's a goal. But right now, my main thing is to go back to grad school online and finish finish a master's degree. My company will pay for it, and I'll be a better person for it. So that's the word I have for you. Decide now what you want to do. Don't wait. You're going to get older. You're going to be 4 years older than you are now. Make that decision. Do you want to be 4 years older and have that degree, or 4 years older and not have that degree? It's an easy decision for you to make. If you really want it, and it's what God wants you to do, then do it. Sign up now. Apply now. You can do it. It's never too late. Yes, it's going to be hard. Again, I'm going to finish this ramble here. I had not had a math class in over 10 years. I couldn't remember what logarithms were, what Euler's number was. I didn't know any of that stuff. And when I sat down in differential equations, I panicked. I flat out flipped out, had no idea what was going on, and I dropped the class. But it added a year. I got my CS minor because of it. I went back and took Calc 3, and I just worked hard and figured out what I needed to figure out. And you can do it too. I promise you can. I know you can. And I want to encourage you. Set sail. Set an adventure. Set that goal and go after it. You won't regret it. 4 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, you'll look back and say, man, that was the right answer. And I'm so glad I did it. My family's been blessed because of it, my community, my church, whatever. I'm able to be a better version of me, and I am so glad I did it. That's my encouragement. I hope I haven't bumped this microphone too much, but anyway, I hope you have a good day. I hope you take that. Put your advice in the comments. If you've done something like that, you went back and made a big decision and your life was better for it, or you have a regret that you always wanted to do it and you didn't do it. Maybe it's not too late for you. I'm telling you now, put it in the comments and see what your opinion is. And I hope it's interesting. I hope we could share some of the victories together. So I hope you have a great week. Take this as an encouragement, and God bless. I'll see you on the next one.